That was very weird. So I don't know. Now, what is this? Where did this come from? My goodness. I got all kinds of crazy stuff going on here. Where the heck did that come from? Let's see if we're back up here. Should be. Should be live. 1, 2. Yep, that's working. This is working. Oh, that's the old one. I don't want the old one. I want the new one. Latest. There it is. Isn't that bizarre? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I must have hit something on the software or something. I have no idea what happened. That was a bad connection or everything looks good here. I don't know. This is touch screen, so I don't know if maybe I touched something up here that I wasn't supposed to. I don't know what happened. I do not know. I'd still like to figure this out. Yeah, that's not doing anything. Okay. Well, it is what it is. You don't need that light blasting there. Oh, bear with me a momento. I think I have some allergies or something. Eyes itching. Okay. All right. Oh boy, those look good. Can't see a thing without my glasses, right? What is all this stuff? We'll get them clean here in a minute. I don't understand why they keep. I know this paper towel is clean, but it keeps leaving a film on the glasses. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Let's try another one. Try a clean one. Maybe that one had some dirt on it or something. Okay. I can see again. All right. That over here. There. All right. So, welcome back to Aware and Convinced. And welcome into our recovery channel where we're going to talk recovery. Awesome, like my daughters, both my daughters. They left the S off here. It should be both of them. That's okay. One at a time. That's enough. That's enough. Just kidding. Just kidding. I love my daughters, both of my daughters. So let's see. Oh, you know what I wanted to do is I wanted to how am I going to do this? I'm going to put that up there. That's how I'm going to do it. I wanted to read some of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. So we kind of get into that, do some daily reading on that. How do I get rid of that? I want, let's see. What is that going to do? Oh, there it goes. Okay, that was easy. And then I can just do this and this. No, can't do that. Just gonna do this. Okay, that's all right. That works. So we just do a little reading of the big book. This is the 4th edition. Is that what this one is over here? Yeah, 4th edition of Alcoholics Anonymous, big book. And we can get into it. And if you have any questions, feel free to jump in, like and subscribe. And we'll try to do this on a more or less regular basis after we get everything up and running and going smoothly. I do want to welcome you. If you're out there, come on in, spend a couple of minutes. You may learn something, maybe not. Maybe not. Don't know. But it'd be nice to have your company anyway. So, let's see. I just don't understand here. Alcoholics Anonymous, 4th edition. Excuse me. We of Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women who have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. More than 100 men and women. I would say it's more like 1 million right now. Let's see if I can get an estimate. Let's see. Estimated global membership of over 2 million people. Wow. Amazing. We of Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women who have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. This is the forward, by the way, forward to the big book. To show other alcoholics precisely how we have recovered is the main purpose of this book. For them, we hope these pages will prove so convincing that no further authentication will be necessary. We think this account of our experiences will help everyone to better understand the alcoholic. And this goes for the drug addict as well. Absolutely. Because alcohol is a drug. We think this account of our experiences will help everyone to better understand the alcoholic. Many do not comprehend that the alcoholic is a very sick person. And besides, we're sure that our way of living has its advantages for all. It's important that we remain anonymous because we are too few at present to handle the overwhelming number of personal appeals which may result from this publication. Being mostly business or professional folk, we cannot well carry on our occupations in such an event. We would like it understood that our alcoholic work is an avocation. When writing or speaking publicly about alcoholism, we urge our fellowship to omit his personal name, designating himself instead as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Very earnestly, we ask the press to also observe this request, for otherwise we shall be greatly handicapped. We're not an organization in the conventional sense of the word. There are no fees or dues whatsoever. The only requirement for membership is an honest desire to stop drinking. We're not allied with any particular faith, sect, or denomination, nor do we oppose anyone. We simply wish to be helpful to those who are afflicted. We shall be interested to hear from those who are getting results from this book, particularly from those who have commenced work with other alcoholics. We should like to be helpful in to such cases. Inquiry by scientific, medical, and religious societies will be welcome. And the first edition, first printing, April 1939, has 396 numbered pages. To save cost, we've reduced the printing space but kept the original paragraphing and page numbering. Though it may look unusual, this convention allows us to maintain an exact reproduction of the original text. Thank you for your understanding. Very good. First, all right. And then the next chapter moves on to the doctor's opinion. The doctor's opinion. Oh, that goes on for quite some time, doesn't it? The doctor's opinion. Wow. We of Alcoholics Anonymous believe that the reader will be interested in the medical estimate of the plan of recovery described in this book. Convincing testimony must surely come from medical men who have had experience with the sufferings of our members and have witnessed our return to health. A well-known doctor, chief physician at a nationally prominent hospital specializing in alcoholic and drug addiction, gave Alcoholics Anonymous this letter. To whom it may concern, I have specialized in the treatment of alcoholism for many years. About 4 years ago, I attended a patient who, though he had been a competent businessman of good earning capacity, was an alcoholic of a type I had come to regard as hopeless. In the course of his third treatment, he acquired certain ideas concerning a possible means of recovery. As part of his rehabilitation, he commenced to present his conceptions to other alcoholics, impressing upon them that they must do likewise with still others. This has become the basis of a rapidly growing fellowship of these men and their families. This man and over 100 others appear to have recovered. I personally know 35 of these cases who were of the type with whom other methods had failed completely. Wow. These facts appear to be of extreme medical importance because of the extraordinary possibilities of rapid growth inherent in this group. They may mark a new epoch in the annals of alcoholism. These men may well have a remedy for thousands of such situations. You may rely absolutely on anything they say about themselves. Very truly yours, signed blank MD. Okay. The physician who, at our request, gave us this letter has been kind enough to enlarge upon his views in another statement, which follows. In this statement, he confirms that we who have suffered alcohol his mind satisfy us to be told that we could not control our drinking just because we were maladjusted to life, that we were in full flight from reality, or outright mental defectives. These things were true, but we're sure that our bodies were sickened as well. In our belief, any picture of the alcoholic which leaves out this physical factor is incomplete. Think about that. The doctor's theory that we have an allergy to alcohol interests us. As laymen, our opinion as to its soundness may, of course, mean little, but as alcoholics, we can say that this explanation makes good sense. It explains many things for which we cannot otherwise account. Though we work out our solution on the spiritual as well as altruistic plane, we favor hospitalization for the alcoholic who is very jittery or befogged. Now, there's a word you don't hear very often, befogged. More often than not, it's imperative that a man's brain be cleared before he's approached, as he is then a better chance of understanding and accepting what we have to offer. Well, that's so true. So true. The doctor writes, the subject presented in this book seems to me to be of a paramount importance to those afflicted with alcoholic addiction. And again, it doesn't have to be just alcohol. It can be anything that you're addicted to. I say this after many years' experience as medical director of one of the oldest hospitals in the country treating alcoholic and drug addiction. There you go. There was therefore a sense of real satisfaction when I was asked to contribute a few words on the subject, which is covered in such masterly detail in these pages. We doctors have realized for a long time that some form of moral psychology was of urgent importance to alcoholics, but its application presented difficulties beyond our conception. What with our ultra-modern standards, our scientific approach to everything, we're perhaps not well equipped to apply the powers of good that lie outside our synthetic knowledge. About 4 years ago, one of the leading contributors to this book came under our care in this hospital, and while here, he acquired some ideas which he put into practical application at once. Later, he requested the privilege of being allowed to tell his story to other patients here, and with some the cases we have followed through have been most interesting. In fact, many of them are amazing. The unselfishness of these men, as we have come to know them, the entire absence of profit motive, and their community spirit is indeed inspiring to one who has labored long and wearily in this alcoholic field. They believe in themselves and still more in the power which pulls chronic alcoholics back from the gates of death. Oh, yeah. Of course, an alcoholic ought to be freed from his physical craving for liquor or whatever drug is your flavor of the week. And this often requires a definite hospital procedure before psychological measures can be of maximum benefit. We believe, and so suggested a few years ago, that the action of alcohol on these chronic alcoholics is a manifestation of an allergy, that the phenomenon of craving is limited to this class and never occurs in the average temperate drinker. These allergic types can never safely use alcohol in any form at all. And once having formed the habit and found they cannot break it, once having lost their self confidence, their reliance upon things human, their problems pile up on them and they become astonishingly difficult to solve. Frothy emotional appeal seldom suffices. The message which can interest and hold these alcoholic people must have depth and weight. In nearly all cases, their ideals must be grounded in a power greater than themselves if they are to recreate their lives. Imagine that. Imagine that. And there's a picture of my late sweetheart up there. There she is. And she, bless her soul, could not get out from under her addiction. And it took her. If any feel that as psychiatrists directing a hospital for alcoholics, we appear somewhat sentimental, let them stand with us while on the despairing why of these, even of their sleeping moments, and the most cynical will not wonder that we have accepted and encouraged this movement. We feel after many years of experience that we have found nothing which has contributed more to the rehabilitation of these men and women than the altruistic movement now growing up among them. Men and women drink essentially because they like the effect produced by alcohol. The sensation is so elusive that while they admit it is injurious, they cannot, after a time, differentiate the true from the false. To them, their alcoholic life seems the only normal one. They're restless, irritable, and discontented unless they can again experience the sense of ease and comfort which comes at once by taking a few drinks, drinks which they see others taking with impunity. After they succumb to the desire again, as so many do, and the phenomenon of craving develops, they pass through the well-known stages of a spree, emerging remorseful with a firm resolution not to drink again. This is repeated over and over, and unless this person can experience an entire psychic change, there's very little hope of their recovery. Isn't that the truth? A complete psychic, an entire psychic change. It's got to happen. Happened to me. I was blessed. I was lucky. I guess you could say lucky. Because it hadn't killed me. So that psychic change came, and I put down the booze. Once and for all. Well, I shouldn't say once and for all. I should say for all, forever. Because it wasn't perfect. For me, it wasn't perfect. I didn't do it in one day. That's for damn sure. It took a while. It took a long while. Several months. On the other hand, and strange as this may seem to those who do not understand, once a psychic change has occurred, the very same person who seemed doomed, who had so many problems he despaired of ever solving them, suddenly finds himself easily able to control his desire for alcohol. The only effort necessary being that required to follow a few simple rules. Men have cried out to me in sincere and despairing appeal, "Doctor, I cannot go on like this. I have everything to live for. I must stop, but I cannot. You must help me." Faced with this problem, if a doctor is honest with himself, he must sometimes feel his own inadequacy. Although he gives all that, although he gives all that is in him, it's often not enough. One feels that something more than human power is needed to produce the essential psychic change. Though the aggregate of recoveries resulting from psychiatric effort is considerable, we physicians must admit we have made little impression upon the problem as a whole. Many types do not respond to the ordinary psychological approach. I do not hold with those who believe that alcoholism is entirely a problem of mental control. I've had many men who had, for example, worked a period of months on some problem or business deal, which was to be settled on a certain date favorably to them. They took a drink a day or so prior to the date, and then the phenomenon of craving at once became paramount to all other interests, so that the important appointment was not met. These men were not drinking to escape, they were drinking to overcome a craving beyond their mental control. Not the truth. There are many situations which arise out of the phenomenon of craving, which cause men and women to make the supreme sacrifice rather than continue to fight. Classification of alcoholics seems most difficult and in much detail is outside the scope of this book. There are, of course, the psychopaths who are emotionally unstable. We are all familiar with this type. They're always going on the wagon for keeps. They are over remorseful and make many resolutions, but never a decision. There is a type of man who's unwilling to admit that he cannot take a drink. He plans various ways of drinking. He changes his brand or his environment. There's the type who always believes that after being entirely free from alcohol for a period of time, he can take a drink without danger. There's the manic depressive type who is perhaps the least understood by his friends and about whom a whole chapter could be written. Then there are types entirely normal in every respect except in the effect alcohol has upon them. They're often able, intelligent, friendly people. All these and many others have one symptom in common. They cannot start drinking without developing the phenomenon of craving. This phenomenon, as we have suggested, may be the manifestation of an allergy which differentiates these people and sets them apart as a distinct entity. It's never been by any treatment with which we are familiar, permanently eradicated. The only relief we have to suggest is entire abstinence. Thank you very much. This immediately precipitates us into a seething cauldron of debate. Much has been written pro and con, but among physicians, the general opinion seems to be that most chronic alcoholics are doomed. What is the solution? Perhaps I can best answer this by relating an experience of 2 years ago. About 1 year prior to this experience, a man was brought in to be treated for chronic alcoholism. He had but partially recovered from a gastric hemorrhage and seemed to be a case of pathological mental deterioration. He'd lost everything worthwhile in life and was only living, one might say, to drink. He frankly admitted and believed that for him, there was no hope. Following the elimination of alcohol, there was found to be no permanent brain injury. He accepted the plan outlined in this book. 1 year later, he called to see me, and I experienced a very strange sensation. I knew the man by name and partly recognized his features, but there all resemblance ended. From a trembling, despairing, nervous wreck had emerged a man brimming over with self-reliance and contentment. I talked with him for some time, but was not able to bring myself to feel that I had known him before. To me, he was a stranger, and so he left me. More than 3 years have now passed with no return to alcohol. Amazing, amazing, amazing. When I need a mental uplift, I often think of another case brought in by a physician prominent in New York City. The patient had made his own diagnosis and decided his situation hopeless, had hidden in a deserted barn, determined to die. He was rescued by a searching party and in desperate condition brought to me. Following his physical rehabilitation, he had a talk with me in which he frankly stated that he thought the treatment a waste of effort unless I could assure him, which no one had ever had, that in the future he would have the willpower to resist the impulse to drink. His alcoholic problem was so complex and his depression so great that we felt his only hope would be through what we then called moral psychology. And we doubted if that would even have any effect. However, he did become sold on the ideas contained in this book. He has not had a drink for more than 3 years. I see him now and then, and he is a fine specimen of manhood as one could wish to meet. And the doctor closes out by saying, I earnestly advise every alcoholic to read this book through. And though perhaps he came to scoff, he may remain to pray. And then the doctor's opinion ends, and chapter 1 of the big book of AA begins with Bill's story. So, yeah, pick up a copy of the big book. If you don't have one, get one. A lot of the clubs, AA clubs that meet, have extra copies. And if you tell somebody, if you can't swing, I don't even know how much they would, how much are they? How much are they on Amazon? Let's see. Can't be that much. I would say about $12 maybe. Um, oh, come on. On Amazon. Let's see. Well, you can get a used copy for $7. You can get an audiobook. Audiobooks now, $8.40. A little more expensive. World of Books, $6.68. Alcoholics on eBay, $8.95. If you get it brand new, it is a little more expensive. Hardcover is $20. Soft covers. I'm looking for Amazon. Where's Amazon? Amazon. Oh, there it is. Amazon book. Let's see what. Well, I just want to know what the cost is. You don't have to go through all this with me. $14.57 for the soft cover, paperback cover. So that's not bad. Oh, and the big book hardcover is only $15.87. So that's on Amazon. But if you can't swing it, any of the clubs usually have extra copies laying around and are more than willing to give them to you or give one to you if you're new in sobriety. So you need to take it home and go through it and read it. And I enjoy reading it. We're going to read some more, as we go along. Bill's story is next. So maybe we'll hit that tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Thursday evening, right? So I don't have any plans. So I can spend the evening with you. How about that? You are my plan for tomorrow. We'll do Bill's story from AA, the big book. I like this. This one too is really good. Living sober. I like that. There's a couple of these soft cover. Where's the other one I have? Oh, what has she got here? Oh, that's NA. I already have NA. Yeah. This one is, oh, I got to read this. I have to read that one. And I haven't even started. I have to read this. The other one is Came to Believe. That's another good one. And we can read some things out of that too. Came to Believe. That's from AA. World Services. Oh, I got to set this one aside. I want to read that. Okay, that's good. Oh, I forget some of the things sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes I lose my mind. I forget things. You know, why do I do that? Who would know? Okay. Oh, that's funny. So, if you were with me a week ago, a little more than a week ago, we did some reading out of this book. And it's funny, where I left off is, oh, we don't need this anymore, so I can put this. Where did I save this? Where did I save that? Yes, right there. Okay, perfect. So I don't need that. Okay. Yeah, so we were reading some of this Living Sober book. And again, you know, AA is based around alcoholism, alcohol addiction. But you can plug any name in for that for alcohol, any drug, whatever your particular flavor happens to be. You can plug it in, and it works just the same. And it is the same. Even if you just plug in the word addiction instead of alcoholism, same thing. Now, out of this book, it does say where we left off was chapter 4 in this book. When did this book come out? 53rd printing was 2022. So this is a newer printing for sure. 2022. First printing was in 75. 53rd printing, 2022. Wow. So chapter 4 in the Living Sober book, remembering that alcoholism, addiction, is an incurable, progressive, and fatal disease. Yeah. It is. Okay. It definitely is. Many people in the world know they cannot eat certain foods. Yeah. Oysters, strawberries, eggs, cucumbers, sugar, peanuts. Some people have the peanut allergy without getting very uncomfortable and maybe even quite sick. A person with a food allergy of this kind can go around feeling a lot of self-pity, complaining to everyone that he or she is unfairly deprived and constantly whining about not being able or allowed to eat something delicious. Obviously, even though we may feel cheated, it isn't wise to ignore our own Physiological makeup. If our limitations are ignored, severe discomfort or illness may result. To stay healthy and reasonably happy, we must learn to live with the bodies that we have. Oh, yeah. I've had this body for for a while. I want to trade it in for a Rambo body if I could, but no, it doesn't. Rocky or Rambo? Not quite. Let's see. Obviously. Oh, we already did, obviously. One of the new thinking habits a recovering alcoholic can develop is a calm view of himself or herself as someone who needs to avoid chemicals. There you go. Alcohol and other drugs that are substitutes for it. If he or she wants to maintain good health. Yeah. Stay away from alcohol and other drugs. Pretty simple. We have as evidence our own drinking days. Yep. A total of hundreds of thousands of men or women years. We know that as the drinking years went by, our problems related to drinking continually worsened. Alcoholism is progressive. Yes, they did. Oh, of course, many of us had periods when, for some months or even years, we sometimes thought the drinking had sort of straightened itself out. We seemed able to maintain a pretty heavy alcohol intake fairly safely. Or we would stay sober except for occasional drunk nights, and the drinking was not getting noticeably worse as far as we could see. Nothing horrible or dramatic happened yet. But wait, there's more. However, we can see now that in the long or short haul, our drinking problem inevitably got more serious. Some physicians expert on alcoholism tell us that there's no doubt that alcoholism steadily grows worse as one grows older. Know anyone who isn't growing older? Well, I decided this year that I'm not going to grow older. I'm going to start going backwards. Every birthday, I'm going to subtract a year. We are also convinced after the countless attempts we made to prove otherwise that alcoholism is incurable. Just like some other illnesses. It cannot be cured in this sense. We cannot change our body chemistry and go back to being the normal, moderate social drinkers lots of us seem to be in our youth. As some of us put it, we can no more make that change than a pickle can change itself back into a cucumber. No medication or psychological treatment any of us ever had cured our alcoholism. Excuse me while I get comfortable. I got a new chair coming. I ordered a new chair because this thing has always been a pain in my ass. I just got a new cushion for it. Why did I put up with it for so long? I don't know. I guess I'm torturing myself. Now I'm paying for it too. All right. Okay. No treatment ever cured our alcoholism. Further, having seen thousands and thousands of alcoholics who did not stop drinking, we're strongly persuaded that alcoholism is a fatal disease. Not only have we seen many alcoholics drink themselves to death, dying during withdrawal. Man, that's bad. Dying during the withdrawal symptoms of delirium tremens, DTs, or convulsions, or dying of cirrhosis of the liver directly related to drinking. Yeah, I happened to hear a story about someone recently that did die of cirrhosis of the liver. So it does happen. Um, we also know that many deaths not officially attributed to alcoholism are in reality caused by it. Often, when an automobile accident, drowning, suicide, homicide, heart attack, fire, pneumonia, or stroke is listed as the immediate cause of death, it was heavy alcoholic drinking that led to the fatal condition or event. Well, heavy alcoholic drinking, heavy drug use leading to an overdose, same thing, same can of worms. Certainly, most of us in AA felt safely far away from such a fate when we were drinking. Of course, we did. Probably the majority of us never came near the horrible last stages of chronic alcoholism. But we saw that we could if we just kept on drinking or using. Again, the same thing, same results, right? If you get on a bus bound for a town 1,000 miles away, that's where you'll wind up, unless you get off and move in another direction. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Okay, so what do you do if you learn that you have an incurable, progressive, fatal disease? Whether it's alcoholism or some other, such as a heart condition or cancer, what do you do? Well, many people just deny it. Um, they deny it's true. They ignore the condition, accept no treatment for it. They suffer and they depart. But there is another way. You can accept the diagnosis persuaded by your doctor or your friends or yourself. Then you can find out what can be done, if anything, to keep the condition under control. So you can still live many happy, productive, healthy years as long as you take proper care of yourself. Excuse me. You recognize fully the seriousness of your condition and you do the sensible things necessary to carry out a healthy life. You change the way you live, right? This, it turns out, is surprisingly easy in regard to alcoholism, addiction. Yeah, it's easy. It's very easy. If you want to stay well, and since we AAs have learned to enjoy life so much, we really want to stay well. Well, that makes sense. Well, we try never to lose sight of the unchangeable fact that our alcoholism, but we learn not to brood or feel sorry for ourselves or talk about it all the time. We accept it as a characteristic of our body, like our height or our need for glasses, or like any allergies we may have. Then we can figure out how to live comfortably, not bitterly, not bitterly. With that knowledge, as long as we start out by simply avoiding that first drink or that first use just for today. A blind member of AA said his alcoholism was quite similar to his blindness. Once I accepted the loss of my sight, he explained, and took the rehabilitation training available, I discovered I really can, with the aid of my cane or my dog, go anywhere. I want to go anywhere I want to go quite safely, just as long as I don't forget or ignore the fact that I'm blind. But when I do not act within the knowledge that I cannot see, it is then I get hurt or in trouble. If you want to get well, one AA woman said, you just take your treatment and follow directions and go on living. It's easy as long as you remember the new facts about your health. Who has time to feel deprived or self-pitying when you find there's so many delights connected with living happily unafraid of your illness? Interesting way to put it. To summarize, we remember we have an incurable, potentially fatal ailment called addiction, alcoholism. And instead of persisting in drinking or using, we prefer to figure out and use enjoyable ways of living without the drug. We need not be ashamed that we have a disease. It's no disgrace. No one knows exactly why some people become alcoholics while others don't. It is not our fault. We did not want to become alcoholics or addicts. Didn't want to. We didn't try to get this illness. We didn't suffer alcoholism just because we enjoyed it. After all, we did not deliberately, maliciously set out to do the things that we were later ashamed of. We did them against our better judgment and instinct because we were really sick and didn't even know it. We've learned that no good comes of useless regret and worry about how we got this way. The first step toward feeling better and getting over our sickness is quite simply not drinking or using. Try the idea on for size. Would you rather recognize that you have a health condition which can be successfully treated than spend a lot of time miserably worrying about what's wrong with you? We found this is a better looking and better feeling picture of ourselves than the old gloomy selves we used to see and used to be. It is truer too, we know. The proof of it is in the way we feel, act, and think now. Anyone who wants it is welcome to a free trial period. How about that? Of this new concept of self. Afterward, anyone who wants the old days again is perfectly free to start them all over. It's your right to take back your misery if you want it. Hey, go get it. On the other hand, you can also keep the new picture of yourself if you'd rather. It too is yours by right. So that's chapter 4. That's a good chapter. I like that one. Chapter 4 in Living Sober, courtesy of AA Worldwide Services. Really good. I like that. Definitely. Yeah, there's another book here. I got to start. I picked this book up a year. Oh gosh, was it a year ago? Let me see. Maybe it was more than that. No, I think it was a year ago. And this gentleman spoke at our church. It's copyright 2024 by John C. Maxwell and Chris Hodges. It's called Jesus, the High Road Leader. It's New York Times best-selling authors. And he was at the church. He comes to the church occasionally. And I wanted to read this, and I still haven't picked it up yet. But looks like an easy read. Oh, it's got a nice little page marker in here. I like that. I like that. But yeah, I've got to get through this book here. Jesus, the High Road Leader. Follow the path he wants us to travel. So, good book. Yeah, good book. Even though I haven't read it, I know it's going to be a good book. I know it will, and I've got to get to that. So maybe we'll read some of this out too. Maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So we got a lot of reading and a lot of things to go over. It's just a matter of time, right? So time we got. What time is it? Oh my gosh, time flies when you're having fun. I didn't realize it was after 9 o'clock Eastern. Wow. Well, I think I'll wrap it up for tonight then. And we'll try to get back on tomorrow between 7 and 7:30. And we'll do some more reading and conversating. Is that a word, conversating? I think it is. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the chat or go over to my regular channel, Aware and Convinced, and put a comment in for one of my videos. I've got several over there you might want to check out. And this will go into the live archive on YouTube if you care to go back and check anything else that you might have missed. That was good. I enjoyed that reading. Where did you come from? Oh, gosh. Oh, just what I want. I don't know what to do with you. Yeah, fly away, fly away. It must be the season for those little beetles, whatever they are. I don't know where he went or she. I don't know. Or both. Don't know how they do that. Anyway, have a good night. God bless you. God bless our veterans. 3 pillars of sobriety. Remember those. Trust God, clean house, help others. We'll see you next time. And don't forget that somebody out there loves you. Okay? Bye-bye for now.